If you ever find yourself alone in the Black Forest and hear a shadowy figure telling you something, maybe you listen. Let me back up. Mark from Toronto, Canada told me the story. I'd been on a 6-week hiking holiday through Europe, and for the last week of my trip, I decided to do a solo hike through the Black Forest in Germany. Yeah, I know, classic horror movie setup, but I was loving it. Dense, dark trees, winding trails, and an eerie silence that made you feel like the forest was watching you. Creepy. A little. But mostly, it was peaceful. Until day 6. The sky had been a dull, murky grey that morning, but I hiked on. By late afternoon, I was exhausted. My legs ached, and my stomach rumbled from lack of food and a long day of hiking. I found a small clearing in the woods near a cliff and decided it was as good a place as any to set up camp. The trees crowded in close on one side, bare branches hanging low, but I could see glimpses of grey sky through the clearing. The air smelled of damp earth and pine. The forest was utterly still. After pitching my tent, I gathered some dry wood and lit a fire, watching as the flames flickered to life. The warmth was immediate, chasing away the growing chill of the evening. As the fire crackled, I let out a deep sigh, finally allowing myself to relax. Not long after, I heard something, just at the firelight's edge. A faint rustling, then a whisper, carried by the wind. A voice. "You should go back." I turned sharply, heart hammering. The wind howled through the trees, but beyond that there was nothing. No footsteps, no movement, just the flickering of my fire and the dense press of trees beyond. My breath came fast. Maybe I was just tired. Perhaps the wind had carried someone's voice from farther down the trail. Yeah, that had to be it. I crawled into my tent, tightened up, and told myself it was nothing, just my imagination. The wind rose, moaning through the trees, and more than once I swore I heard footsteps outside my tent. When I finally drifted off, my dreams were restless, full of whispers and flickering shapes beyond my vision. By morning the fire had burned to embers and the forest was thick with mist. That's when I saw him. He stood just beyond the dying fire, tall and lean, his sandy blonde hair tousled by the wind, his piercing blue eyes locked onto mine, and for a moment I thought he was just another hiker, until I noticed how the mist curled around him, never quite touching him. "You should go back," he said again, his voice quiet but firm. I swallowed, shaking off the unease creeping up my spine. "Bad weather coming?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. He nodded. "A storm. You won't want to be here when it arrives." Something about the way he said it made my skin crawl. His face was calm, but his eyes held something odd, something knowing. "You're heading up?" I asked, nodding toward the mountains. "I always do." A cold gust of wind whipped through the trees, and when I blinked, he was gone. Just gone. No sound of retreating footsteps, no rustling of branches, nothing. I didn't hesitate. I packed up and started the long hike back down the mountain. By midday, I reached a small village at the forest's edge. At a little store, I stopped for a hot drink and something to eat, but the eerie feeling still clung to me. The storekeeper, an older German man with a kind face, smiled at me. "Rough weather coming in?" he asked, his thick accent making his English difficult to understand. "Yeah, some guy warned me about it this morning," I said, sipping my coffee. "Guy with blonde hair and blue eyes. He spoke with an accent." The storekeeper didn't seem surprised. He only gave a knowing nod, like I'd confirmed something he already suspected. "You saw Felix," he said. "You are lucky." I frowned. Lucky? The older man met my gaze, his expression solemn. Felix warns those who will listen. When the storm comes, the ones who ignore him sometimes do not return. A chill ran through me and I set my cup down slowly. You're saying he's a ghost? The storekeeper nodded. Many have met him before bad weather. He was caught in a snowstorm 2 years ago, froze in the mountains. Now he warns others. I swallowed hard. My mind raced. I had spoken to him. I had seen him. And yet Felix had been dead for 2 years. The storekeeper must have seen the horror on my face because he gave a solemn nod. You are lucky. He wanted you to leave. I left the store in a daze, my legs weak beneath me. The wind had picked up, howling through the trees like a warning. I turned back to glance at the mountain, where I had last seen Felix disappear into the mist. But the hill was far away now, just a shadow behind the veil of dark clouds that loomed overhead. It started snowing, and I wrapped my coat tightly around my shivering body. Somewhere up there, a ghost was walking the same path. He had walked the day he died, and I had spoken with him. I don't know why Felix saved me. I don't know what would have happened had I ignored his warning and followed him higher into the mountains. The older man's words echoed in my mind. Some do not return. All I know is that I don't hike alone anymore, and I never will again. Well, my lovelies, I hope you enjoyed that eerie little tale. It's granny shivers here, and if you're craving more true stories, stay with me. But first, I have a little secret to share. I'm an old soul, perhaps even older than the hills. I've gathered countless stories while wandering this strange and shadowy world. Some whispered by a crackling campfire, some murmured among the ruins of ancient castles, and others shared beneath a sky full of cold, watching stars. Did I believe them all, or has time played tricks on my memory, twisting the details like the twisted roots of an old tree? I'll let you decide.